Brad, is Mason Wood ready to come straight back in this week?
Provided he gets through training today, he'll play in the seniors. Yeah, he's done a power of work, so it's not an issue of whether he's ready or not. It's just a matter of whether medically that he's absolutely got the final tick off and that we're not putting him at undue risk. And once I get that final tick off, then yeah, we're prepared to pick him.
What about Mad Jackdaw?
What about him?
What about, is he coming back this week?
He's a chance, yeah. We've got to manage the talls all the way through. Prusy, Goldstein, Brown, Dorr, even Nick Larkey, Ben Mackay. We've got a lot of guys who play the same position, so we'll analyse that each week depending on our opposition and depending on how each one of them are going. So that's still in a bit of a state of flux at the moment, but Madge is certainly available.
Coming up against Sandilands, do you feel you need the 2 ruckmen, or do you weigh that up against playing on the big ground and needing a bit of extra run?
You can go either way, and if it works, it'll be a great move. If it doesn't, it'll be a dumb move. I mean, it's pretty cut and dried like that when you're coming up against a pretty unique player in Sandilands. So teams have tried the double team, and other teams have tried to go with him one out. So we're still undecided on that. But the great thing is we've got a lot of options.
Just back on Mason Wood, I mean, the fact that he's just never really had a good crack at it over the last while, is it one of the great joys in coaching to be able to give a bloke like that another shot at it?
Oh, it is. In a way, it is. I mean, but I've never been in any doubt, and neither's he. He's had some niggles along the way, but he's never had I wouldn't say he's injury prone or anything like that. He had someone fall across his knee last year once he'd really emerged into the senior team. And he's had a couple of minor setbacks this year. So yeah, he's a really resilient type of guy too. He's a terrific athlete, and I'm sure that once he gets a bit of luck, he'll get a consistent run at it, and he'll show everyone just how good he can be.
Because Willis, Brad, has he done enough for a debut?
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's probably done enough to make his debut for the last few weeks. But it's been shuffling our midfield and where he's going to play and various options. But look, he's certainly going to be in our 23, so we'll take 23 over to Perth. But I'd say he's a really good chance of playing.
Brad, the team's record in close games has been highlighted a couple of times this week. Is it an issue?
Oh, it's an issue in 2 of our 4 games this year. But you look at them in different ways. I mean, we got ourselves into winnable positions and we weren't able to close them out. But we did come back against the Bulldogs really strongly, and Lindsay Thomas's last kick goes straight. We're not talking about it. So I don't think that it's a systemic issue. Now, if you want to look at things across 7 seasons, then 2013 it was an issue for us. We lost a lot of close games, and that was probably a function of being a developing side and not having the maturity to close out close games. But I think through the next three final series, we won some close games, played in 2 prelims, and now we're back to a situation where, yeah, we're a bit younger and we're not closing out games as we'd like. But as we showed in the past, I think we'll develop that pretty well.
Does that come back to that vulnerability you spoke about pre-season?
Yeah, well, any side that's young is vulnerable, but the upside is that there's the exuberance of youth, and I'd much rather be coaching them through these challenges than simply saying, gee, we're way off the pace and we're not up to it. I think the footy we played showed that we can match it with some pretty good sides, and we played 4 good sides. But we'd like to close them out, and we'll keep working on that.
Just on the fact you played 4 good sides, I mean, listening to your brother after the Hawthorn game, he said that Geelong still don't know where they're at this season, just in terms of the teams they've played and results and whatever else. Do you guys know where you're at? Do you have any idea where your level is?
I don't think too many people. There may be 1 or 2 teams who have a pretty good indication of where they're at, but until the fixture plays out, and probably everyone's played each other once, but even then you don't have a good enough understanding. I think Gold Coast and Fremantle are 2 really good examples of who played below their best in the first 2 weeks, but have really turned things around. So it's going to fluctuate, and I think it just all adds up to a really even season, and probably the AFL's objective, where most teams can win on any given day.
Another setback for Sam Wright during the week, Brad. How frustrated is he?
Yeah, he's frustrated, but he's still really optimistic that he'll get his opportunity, and just got to get his body right. I mean, he's been a good player for us for a long time, but fortunately the setback was picked up really early, because it could have been a lot worse had we missed it. So he'll miss a significant chunk of footy in the first half of the year, but hopefully we'll get him back for the second half.
What do you made of Freo's last couple of weeks, and how are they different to what they sort of showed in that first fortnight?
Oh, I think they've been really impressive. They've against the Bulldogs in Melbourne, they move the ball pretty aggressively, and again, it's that exuberance of youth. Some young guys come in and give them a completely different look. So yeah, it's been impressive the way that they've been able to improve over the last couple of weeks, and we're certainly going to have to be at our best to match them.
What was the message from the review Monday, Brett? I mean, obviously pretty encouraging form without the wins. I mentioned a lot to take out of most of the first month.
Yeah, well, we were certainly very encouraged with a lot of things we did, but the players were left in no doubt that we shot ourselves in the foot, and we made a lot of, as I said post game, some really fundamental rookie errors. And I'm not even talking about skill errors. I'm talking about structural errors that you wouldn't expect to be an on-running feature of our game. But it's part and parcel of coaching young guys. They're going to make mistakes under pressure and make some poor decisions. But the group was in no doubt that, gee, we fixed those really minor things. There's a lot to like.
Is your skipper's kicking a bit of a worry?
No, not to me, no.
To get a bit cleaner?
He's a contested bull. He's kicking a lot under pressure. And he's such a penetrating kick sometimes. If he does have an issue, it's that he just pull it back to kicking at 65 instead of trying to kick at 70.
Will Mitch Hibbert play DFL this week after his concussion?
I think he's a really good chance. The doctors were really optimistic the next day. He pulled up really well. But again, you give them right up until the day, and if there's any doubt, we won't play him, but it's looking like he will.
There's no chance AFL?
No, he's not. He won't be in the squad this week, but that's not due to his concussion. He's just, probably Ed Vickers-Willis, a couple of other guys are pushing just past him, but Mitch will be in the frame most weeks.